Hey guys, it's Floyd Tucker with my first video blog post for Dream Simplicity. Just to give you a little background, we had this brainstorming conversation last week and I had this idea, why not start a video blog where just short and sweet we can kind of share the latest and greatest in SaaS and cloud for the week. And that's really what I want this to be, is just a chance to share some cool news articles that I've been reading about the cloud, as well as some events that are coming up, with cool blog posts that I've been reading, and then also some cool stuff that some of these rock stars within our community have been working on, both on our site and abroad. And for us, it's about, I think it's in our name. It's about sharing the dream of a simpler life, and that doesn't mean having to live, 10 to 12 hours out of your day sitting in a cubicle. There's this blog post from Tim Ferriss not too long ago that said, that cubicles are going the way of the phone booth or of powdered wigs. It's like kind of this archaic mindset that we need to get past, and that's really what we stand for here. But anyways, getting back to kind of the news and everything that are going on, there's some exciting stuff, and I wanted to share it with you here. So let me start with a recent survey I saw from CRN. They just interviewed 600 IT execs, and they got some really, really interesting information from it. 98% of IT decision makers are confident, they say, that cloud computing is ready for the enterprise. 98%, that's huge. 68% of respondents said that cloud computing will help their businesses recover from the recession. Now, there was a follow-up blog post that I read from Dave Lincecum over at InfoWorld, who's kind of their cloud guru, and he posed the question, will cloud computing save the economy? I don't know if it's going to be the savior of the economy. It's probably a little early for that, but buyer sentiment, having that behind you, is huge towards growth in any sector. Cloud notwithstanding. Much like the explosion you saw in the web in the 1990s, it could easily be the catalyst that creates the need or the want to throw investment dollars into that sector, which then of course would translate into more jobs, which then of course would create wealth for those involved, and that truly would fuel our economic growth. So it's exciting to see that these IT executives are behind the cloud now. Will it save our economy just yet? I don't know about that, but there's some interesting stuff out there. I'm not sure if you're all aware of a site called thevarguy.com. I know about it from my days back in wealth management and finance, but mainly they focus on stocks, stock predictions, watching index funds and things like that. But they've created what's called the SaaS 20, and just like the name says, it's an index that tracks 20 publicly held companies that focus on software as a service. So you have your Salesforce and your NetSuite and your SuccessFactors and Taleo and the like. And once you have a chance to look at this, it's pretty interesting. In 2009 as a whole, the SaaS 20 did 65%. Year to date for 2010, it's done 8%. And that's in comparison to, let's say, the S&P 500, which has done a meager 2, I think it is, as of right now, as of yesterday at least. And this is all coming on the backs of SuccessFactors and Amazon and Salesforce all having these stellar quarters, and it's promoting the growth of cloud. So it's important and it's exciting. But what I really liked about SaaS 20 Index is that they're still kind of changing some of the companies that are on there, and the reason for that is what I've read in a recent blog post from the CTO of Boomi, Rick Nucci, calls cloud washing. And it's this kind of 80-20 paradox where a company will install Amazon and call it a cloud edition, right? Just put the stamp on it. Yep, we're cloud, yeah, of course. Well, the fact is these products or these services are failing because they're getting exposed for what it is. In a sense, it's almost a fraud, right? We're savvy the buyers now are savvy. They're people who are astute and adept to kind of this market, and so they're making educated decisions where you can't just pull the blanket over their eyes anymore. And what's great about this is it means that we're moving out of what Gartner calls the hype cycle and forcing more and more of this multi-tenant architecture, and that's exciting news. So all good things on that front. One last thing I'll mention is that Novell just scored a joint development with China's biggest internet service portal, which is called Tencent. I mean, these guys have 500 million active users, 500 million active users, and they're developing an IDC, an internet data center, so that users can build and purchase and run business applications. I mean, this is so exciting. I mean, this is an untapped market, or I shouldn't say untapped, but a market like this that's moving towards open source and wanting to have more association with the cloud and the advantages that come with it is pretty exciting stuff. So that's kind of on the news front of things. There's a couple things event-wise that are happening here in the Bay Area, and I apologize. Next time I'll make sure to focus a little bit more on nationwide. But tonight is the Founders Showcase down at Microsoft in Mountain View. I think it's sold out this time, but if you ever have a chance, go see it. It's very cool. There's 10 presenting companies, and then there's also talks from Elon Musk and Jason Calacanis. So pretty cool stuff. Also down in Palo Alto is the Raising Capital for Early Stage Startups. I think it's $52. It's down at Cooley LLP, and it's really just a chance to learn about kind of the current startup climate and also hear from some VCs and angel investors out there. And before I go, I wanted to raise up one of the members of our community, a gentleman by the name of Matt Mansfield, who's the owner of LeverageTheWeb.com. And Matt, I want to give you props, because you're actually the catalyst that kind of promoted or prompted me to start this video blog. You're someone who's giving some insightful tips on how best to utilize the web and gain access to a larger client base, which of course will then build your cloud on the internet. But it was from watching some of your video blogs that I said, hey, this is something that we should try out. So for that, I thank you, and keep up the good work, my man. So anyways, this is our first try at this video blog. Hopefully it's been helpful. Hopefully you've learned something. Let me know if there's anything else you want us to add to it, and look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care.